In almost every major city in America, the lack of affordable housing is at crisis levels. 60% of people say it's a serious problem in their area, according to a poll conducted by the National Low Income Housing Coalition. No wonder, as more than 18 million Americans spent more than half of their income on a place to live in 2017. So it's no surprise that 2020 Democrats have latched onto the issue. Many have put out policy proposals, but so far only one candidate has expressly mentioned rent control as part of the solution.
Under my plan, we will establish a national rent control standard. In the midst of this national housing emergency, we need federal policy which protects tenants from the greed we are currently seeing in the real estate industry.
Sanders' plan would cap rent increases at 3%, or 1.5 times the inflation rate, whichever is higher. Plus, he'd put another $2.5 trillion into federal housing programs, paid for by a tax on the top tenth of America's 1%. Of course, rent control is not exactly a novel idea. If you've lived here long enough, you'll remember Massachusetts used to have rent control until a 1994 ballot initiative banned it. That controversial vote was a close one, 51 to 49% to be exact, and even more divisive was the fact that all three communities which had rent control at the time, that's Boston, Cambridge, and Brookline, overwhelmingly voted to keep it. But the 348 cities and towns without it thought they knew better. But it appears the idea may be coming back into style, with Oregon passing the first statewide rent control bill early this year, followed by California. And some lawmakers in Massachusetts have been pushing to move in that direction as well, with a bill on Beacon Hill that would let individual cities and towns set their own rules to protect tenants from eviction, including capping rent prices without the state legislature having to butt in. Earlier this month, Somerville Mayor Joe Curtatone publicly declared his support for the idea.
Too many people are being driven from our communities. Cities need to take the lead on this issue. Let's send Beacon Hill the clear message that we are ready, willing and able to act because the very fabric of our communities is on the line.
So what's the argument against it? Here's Governor Charlie Baker back in March when this bill was first proposed.
Rent control will stifle the production of new housing. That's exactly the wrong direction to go in. What we need to do here in Massachusetts is build more housing.
Sure, building more housing will help, but this problem is far too big for just one solution. Back when I was a lawyer for tenants in New York City, I saw firsthand how properly drafted and enforced rent control rules can make a city that not just the wealthy can afford to live in. So, isn't it time for a little boldness, both in state capitals and in D.C.? What do you think? Email us, tweet us, share your thoughts.